We're back!
And we're back.
And we're back. Yeshivas Geulas Shaul. Yo, take video on this one if you need to. I'm not using it. My phone. Nah, you might as well call it phoning because it didn't work. But we're back. Baruch Hashem, Yeshivas Geulas Shaul, share number 103. New Agara, who it is? Ayin Gimel Amid Beis. Mezeches Bava Basra. Perik Amozer as a spina. Coming and steiging in the schos of the Yidden who are in captivity and the Yidden who are saving them. Rivka, can you please get my ukulele into the case, please, and also bring the gain? And she also gives me her phone to give Shir on. Over here and over there.
Nice remix.
Check it out. Oh, thanks. I just came up with it.
You see, we got guests over here.
We got gig. We got a gig.
You see,
I don't see.
This guy?
I can't see. No, turn your camera. I can't see.
Maybe.
Turn your camera to the side. More. Avram McDonald, Ziggity Zalman. It's hard to see. Ziggity Zalman, Shalom Aleichem. Ziggity Zalman, Shalom Aleichem. So we steigen da. We got Ziggs at Schlegs. We got DVJ. We got Rivka. We got Mamo. Steigen da over here.
Over here.
And we're going to a museum or a garden, but Ringling, Ig. All right, I'm a Rabbah. And the Haggadah Yudim say no. Some people say Rabbah Bar Bar Chana. Okay, so we're assuming that this is Rabbah Bar Chana. It doesn't always mention it. Says Rabbah Bar Chana, Lididi Chazili or Zila. To me, I saw an Ursula. Now, Ursula. Oh, here, Ringling Gardens, yonder, it says. Says yonder. Says yonder. So, Rabbah says, Lididi Chazili or Zila. I saw an Ursula. Bar Yome, a one-day-old Ursula. We have to see what an Ursula is. Tahava Kahar Tavor. He was the size of the mountain of Tavor. Now, I don't know what an Ursula is, but it seems that that's pretty big. For an animal size of a mountain, perhaps. But maybe Ursula is not. Maybe Ursula is some sort of angel or something. Or Deem. He was one day old. He was hard Tavor. The hard Tavor Kamai Avi. How much is hard Tavor? Arba Parsi. And I remember at the beginning of Vodazara, we spoke about something about Dalit Parsios. Rivka, do you remember Dalit Parsios? You guys remember Dalit Parsios? Yeah. Well, they're talking about that's the size of Har Tavor. And we said we said
how many miles it is?
Well, we said that 300 Parsios was like many, many, many miles. So Dalit Parsios is just many, many miles. It's big. And that's the size of this mountain. Oh, look at this building. Misha'acha de Savre Shlazna Barzi. So it's neck. This Arzila, what is it? What is it? A swan? I have no idea. So I don't know why that came into my head. But it says that his neck was a specific length, right? His neck was super long. He had a long neck. Viki Marbise de Resha, Obey Marbisa. So again, we have this Beimar Bisa. We saw this in the first Agarita, or the second one, the Beimar Bisa of the Venetian Gothic Palace. All right. Yo, guys, it says Zion. No, it doesn't. I can't see anything. What does it say? I'm not wearing my glasses. Quad is on. Never mind. What does it mean? Oh, what was it? Z. John Ringling. Yeah. John Ringling, right. John M. McKay as well. Okay. Because tickets. I give you have my phone, so. Okay, so. So the house of his head.
Oh, we need wristbands.
Perhaps.
Wristbands, yes. Oh, okay.
Okay, it's good. We're gonna take one of my credit cards and get us 3 tickets.
The ground's due close at 5:30.
That's okay. That's okay. We're okay with it. Okay. The length of its neck was 3 parsa. Ube Marvisa Dereche Parsa and parsa and a half. The Palga Rama Kufta, maybe, and half of it went up Kufta. We don't know what that means. The Silver lately Ardena, and he sugared the Yardane. He sugared the Yardane. Okay, so we saw the Gemara. What do you guys think about this new story? Okay.
New story. Who this?
New story. Who this? What do you think about this story? There was a giant, some sort of animal in Orzala. Shalom Aleichem, what's up, guy?
So it's an antelope?
Aleichem Shalom.
Who this?
Hello?
Yeah,
it's
new
Shalom
story.
Ben
Who
Bell.
this?
Shalom Dovbel.
Shalom Israel. Rusmach.
Yeah.
So anyway,
good.
we just started a new story,
Hashem,
and the story says that Rabbah Bar Bar Chana, he saw this Orzala Bar Yoma. Yome, so it's a 1-day-old animal. We have to see what it is. Orzala is Re'aim Ben Yom Echad. Also Hayom Nolad. He was born that day. So an Orzila is not a swan, just because I said he had a long neck. So I'm like, what is this, some sort of snake or swan or something? Free? Oh, nice. Yeah, because we're learning Torah. Look, we get to go to this botanical garden during Shir.
So because we came so late, so like we can't really charge you, so
That's amazing. Listen, Abishter Siyat Dishmaya has his fin. So it was what's a re'aim, Schlegs? It's like some sort of gazelle?
An antelope or a gazelle?
An igalig?
It could be that a gazelle is a type of antelope.
Yeah, sure. So, but wait,
sure.
How do you know?
Because yesterday when we were looking at the taiches, I had Safaria open. I know it's kind of crumb, but
it's all right. It's all right. It's good that he told us. How you know? I had to check. How does he know that what an Orzila is?
I knew you were gonna check.
I'm happy that I did. Okay, so you have an antelope or a jackalope or a gazelle or an Orzala, a re'aim. It has horns in it, right? It says umishacha did savare. So I thought that this word was from the word like meshech, like the length or the pull. We don't need one. We don't need these chemicals on our body. We got them for free. You just hold on to them. Look at this beautiful tree, guys.
oh my God, look at this. What did you talking about? Yeah, look at this. This is straight up.
So I think that word is like the length of it, but there's a Hagos Tziyunim over here. Oh, I think. O-V. Hagos Tziyunim, O-V. So it says like this. Oh, she says like this. Zog that guy is He says shakli. He says ulai. Maybe you have to say that it weighed that amount. The Rabbah Bar Bar Chana. Hey guys, you want to sit on this tree for a second? Even better, Shay. I'm coming. Hold on, steady. So he says Rabbah Bar Bar Chana, who the Avad Hachi Vitaya Aile Lahasam. Steigin, huh? Steigin Hig. So he saw this mishcha. Oh, so maybe it's not the length of his neck, but it's the weight of his neck, said the Tzionim. Okay, maybe. Titzavrei Tulasa Parsi V'bei Marvaza Dereshe, and like the square of his head is one parsa. So this was a huge antelope. Vipalga Rama, and some have it went up Kufta. And there's a Tzionim here. It says Kufta. It says, oh no, Umashche. I got confused before. Umashche. That's what the last one said. And the length of its neck was this long. And in Zvachim, they tell this story. In Kuf Yud Gimel Amud Beis, we'll check it out. It says Kava. It says Vipalga Rama Kava was wearing a hat. And V'sachar Leili Yardena, and it sugared the Yarden. Got some idols. We got another seemingly great place to sit down, but we got to actually make moves because we only have a half hour here. I'm coming, guys. I'm coming. Sad. Thanks. So Sachar Lili Yardena. So says the Rashbam that this antelope was the size of Har Tavor. Kain Hayagadol. That's how big it was. It was as big as a mountain. Bemar Bisa Dereshe. Magum Hanachas Rosho Sheshachav. Oh, his pillow. Sheshachav ala Karka. Isn't it interesting that the word Karka and the word Rakia have very similar letters? Karka, the ground, Rakia, the firmament. And so he would sleep on the Karka, he would sleep on the floor, but the Yid had a pillow. That's the Bemar Bise Dereshe. His pillow was this size. Well, this is what the Bemar Bise, is that what it's talking about? It's talking about the shine of the star earlier. They use the same word. But here it's saying, no, the place where he put his head, and it was a parsa. It was a parsa long. It was miles long. V'palga Rama Kufta Kava v'sachar leideh. Rama Kufta, it says, Hey Il Ray. Wait, Hatil Ray, when he would poo. V'sachar Haray Yardena, and it fell when the feces of this gigantic antelope would fall into the Yarden so deep, and it made the entire Yarden smell like feces in one bleep. So what did it do? Rama Kufta. Hedil Ray v'sachar Haray Yardena l'pisha ad she mas mesuhu amayim ma'at. So it caused the Yarden to overflow until the water of the Yarden would dissolve the poo, and then it would go back. ZOOMSHTEIG the Gemara. That's the story for today with the Rashbam. Now, before we see the game in this beautiful botanic garden, there is a taste fest. So what do you guys think about this story about the pooping antelope?
It's interesting because I think that Rebbe Nachman actually gives a drush on this exact story in
Oh,
Likutei
please find
Moharan.
it. Please find it. Please find it for tomorrow. We'll read it inside. If you can find it for me, we'll read it inside with the Gra. We'll see what Yeshivas Geulas Shaul, Gemara, those gain Rav Nachman. What Seder Alima, Tekiyas? What Yeshivas Geulas Shaul? We got to find that Rabbi Nachman. But what do you think about the story?
I think it's an awesome story. Whenever I hear stories like this in the Torah, whether it's Tanakh or the Talmud, I always try to see how it could be literal and also figurative at the same time.
Well, we do know that there is a Ben Yehoyada on all of these agaritas. And the Ben Yehoyada, I only saw one, I only took one Nakuda. I saw it really quick, right? But the Ben Yehoyada seemed to hold that every time he starts the story, I saw, it's talking about B'mar Nevuah. Or B'chalom, sorry, B'mar Chalom. That is a dream. So these could be related to the dream sugis at the end of Brachot.
It's interesting you say that because yesterday when we were learning, I was thinking that. I was like, this sounds like someone had, like when it was like talking about the raven that picked up and then it sat on the tree and the tree was huge. It's like, what's going on here? That it must be some sort of trip.
Yeah, a trip. That we didn't say, oh, Shalom Aleichem Avi Mighty. A trip. That's an interesting one. Dad, we're talking about in general. We just finished this wild story about a pooping antelope. And so before we even go into the grill, we're going to taste this. And Shlik says, oh, the pooping antelope is a shtickle by Rav Nachman. So hopefully we'll see that tomorrow or after we finish the game. But I wanted to see taste this. As we're talking. We're talking about the opinion of the Ben Yehoyada that all these stories were, Zodiac. It looks like heliocentric Avodah Zarah over here. I mean, but obviously they're not rotating around the sun. But even to give the opinion is Shibud, right? Unless this is proof of flat Earth, in which case I'm with it. But I don't know what they're trying to say. But it is beautiful. And look at this building. What's this building called, Mamo? Patazan. Okay, Mordek. House of John Ringling. You ever heard of him? He invented the telephone ring or what? No, he was a circus kid. Okay, anyways. He was a circus kid. Okay, so Zog David can taste this. Halchi Garcinon. This is the accurate version of the Gemara. That's MS from the days of the Amoraim and the Tanaim. Amoraim. Okay, Amoraim. I said Amoraim. For me, I saw Orzalai Bar Re'ima. Oh, so Tosvos says Orzalai, son of a jackalope or whatever. What animal did we say, Shlegs? An antelope?
They're an antelope.
So we said Jackalina, the son of an antelope, right? So then why do they call him Orzala? Was that his name? What is he? And he was the size of Har Tavor. He was the size of the mountain of Tavor. Now, why do they call Har Tavor Har Tavor? Maybe because it was broken and the tuft and the shin switched from Hebrew and Aramaic. And so it really means Har Shavor. And it's something because it's broken or something. I don't know. Just blig-tanning, So Tosfos says like this. Perush Ofer Shel Re'em Habar. Ofer Shel of the wild antelope. Or what was the first word that I typed it? Before the safari typed into the picture? How was I saying it? Gazelle, yeah, I was saying gazelle. Gazelle, antelope. There's water, you guys. These are the sugyas of Rabbah Bar Bar Chana over here.
What is that, the Gulf of Mexico?
I don't know. Do we know what this is, this water? Sarasota Bay. Good guess, though.
It is the Gulf of Mexico then.
Oh, Slick says Gulf of Mexico is Sarasota Bay. Who Gulf of Mexico? Who's Sarasota Bay? Oh, very good. Look how the sun reflects on the water. This is only this extension is only on a flat level plane. The sun does not reflect on a curved plane in this way. It just hits one place. So here's more flat earth proof if we needed it. Breadcrumbs. All right, says those votes. Ofer shall reign. What's an ofer? Is that like the kid of the jackalope? Habar, that's wild. Umitargaminan. And we have the Targum, right? The Targum Yainasan, Dimitargaminan, over Hayalim. He says Orzila de Ayla. So it's like it's like a young jackalope. It was his first day and he was already taking poop so big that he made the Yarden overflow. Not bad for day one. You know? And so it was right. And also the story, and everyone's sending us to the story at the end of Zvachim. Now, I don't have the Zvachim on me now, but I would like to see it tomorrow. Maybe the Abish just help see this Gemara in Zvachim. Tav Kufyud Gimel, and guess what? There's a taste over there on Kufyud Gimel on base. Yeah, do or like the Amar husband says over there, Bishlame. I understand. The Rabbi Yochanan, the Amar Lo Yarad Mabul Eretz Yisrael, that he said that the Mabul did not come to Eretz Yisrael. I understand the opinion of Rabbi Yochanan, who said that the Mabul did not come to Eretz Yisrael, that there was no flood in Israel. Hainu Dikam Rima Hasam. That's how you were able to have a worm get up there, or Rima. I don't know if that's correct, what I'm saying right now. Wow, look at these. So I don't know what it means, Dikam Rima. That's where there was a Ra'im. You know? That's where there was a Ra'im. Yo, check it out. Be very careful with Rivka's phone. Oh, Shalom Aleichem, Harry. We're here in the Gulf of Mexico, learning about a giant antelope who took a poop so big that he flooded the world. So Tosfos, the story is also in Tosfos and Zvachim. And so Tosfos, yeah, I know I'm beautiful, but I don't learn Torah just so people will think I'm beautiful. So you guys can look at this amazing local sun and the reflection only possible to make on a flat plane, on flat water. Okay, so because I know it's amazing. So now I just want to keep it over here. Okay. So it says Tosfos that this very story of the giant 1-day-old gazelle that took a gigantic poop, says the Gemara in Zvachim, I understand according to Rabbi Yochanan that he says that there was no flood in Eretz Yisrael. That's how there could be maybe a worm over there. I don't know. We have to see that Gemara inside. El Reish Lakish, but according to Reish Lakish, Rima, how is there this worm or this thing that got up? Some Rima, maybe Rima is this Re'aim. I don't know. Right? Amar Rav Yanai says, Guros Ichnisu Teva. So he says he put into the Teva, Noach, you know, something even more beautiful than the sea is the Sea of Tere. So he says, Noach, I can't, it's too hard. Noach, but you guys can take a screenshot if you'd like, and then we'll look back at the thing. Noach, Rabbi Yana says Noach put cubs into the Teva. He put little cubs of this animal. The Parach and the Gemara over there asks, the Ha'amar Rabbah Bar Bar Chana, How could you tell me? How could you tell me? Oh, maybe how could there be this frame, this special animal that didn't make it out of the mabul? But then the mabul killed it because it wasn't on the mabul. So the Gemara says, well, I understand that there could be a re'im according to Rabbi Yochanan because there was no mabul in Eretz Yisrael. If there's any re'im, is the re'im in Eretz Yisrael, right? But according to Rish Lakish, that says that maybe the mabul did come to Eretz Yisrael. How is there a re'im? So he says, no, according to Rav Yana, it's possible how there's a re'im, how there's this, it seems to be a mythological antelope, maybe like a jackalope or a gazelle, I don't know. How could this animal exist according to Rish Lakish? Oh, like Rav Yana, that this animal, Noach, he brought in 2 cubs. So the I beg the Gemara Baruch, ask the Gemara Amar Rabbah Bar Bar Chana I. But didn't Rabbah Bar Bar Chana say L'didi Chazili or Zila de Bar Re'ema? Didn't Rabbah Bar Chana tell us that he saw a gigantic animal? Says a gigantic whatever this Rima is. He saw one. So the Gemara seems to be saying not like the Ben Yehoyada that it wasn't a dream, because the Gemara is saying, did he actually see one? The Igarzi or Zila Tiyama, right? It says here or Zila Bar Re'ema. But you could have the Kirsa, the version that says not Orzila Bar Re'ema. The Orzila is not the son of a Giselle, but rather Orzila Diyama, a water Orzila. Hainu Dag Shebiyam, it's a fish. Im Kain, if that's the question, Mike Ashile. What's the if that's the Gear Southern version? So what's the question? Ha'amar Berak Hamat Kedushin, doesn't it say in Berak Hamat Kedushin? Lo nigzura al dagim shebayam. That there was no gezerah on the fish of the mabul, and so then there would be no question. So the only way that this could even be a question of what is this re'im, the only way it could be a question is what is the arzila, is if the arzila is a land creature, not a fish creature. I'm going to want to take another look I want to take a look at this Gemara in Zvachim as Kuf Yud Gimel. I don't have it on me. How much minutes do we have left in Shir?
14 minutes.
14 minutes, perfect. There is a Rabbeinu Gershom here, and now we could find the Gra. We could start to see what the Gra says rather than see the Rabbeinu Gershom. We could see a shtickler Rabbeinu Gershom. Also, Shteig, did you have any siyat ishmael in finding this shtickler Rabbi Nachman talked about over here?
I'm perusing while we're shteig.
Givaldic. So there is a Gra over here. Amar Rabbah Bar Bar Chana says, to me, I saw an Orzila Bar Yomei, the Havak Har Tabor, who was the size of Har Tabor. The Har Tabor, how big is it? It's 4 parsas. His neck was 3 parsas long, and his body was the size of this mountain. His neck was 3 parsas long, so his body was 4, his neck was 1, and then the Beimar Basra, the ratio, like the square footage of his head, almost was 1 parsas. He was 8 parsas long. This guy, 8. Rivka, you hear that? 8, and they're gone, but it's okay. Parso Balga. Oh no, it was 1. It was so he was 8.5 parsons, guys. Rama Kufte is Southray Yardena. His 2, a Kufte is his 2. Okay. So his 2 would go up and it would overflow the Yarden until it was dissolved. So Shalom Aleichem Rabbi Harry for joining us. We just did a quick chazara for you at this wild story about this jackalope. it seems to be some mythical creature took a poo that was so big that it overflowed the Yarden until it got dissolved.
Oh, we need a Roto-Rooter.
What?
Roto-Rooter, what's the name of the plunging company?
Oh, I don't know, but yeah, we definitely need some plunging.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say an aqua dump.
You're right, aquaponics. Just let the fish nourish themselves off the nutrients of the waste.
Yeah,
No
man,
problem.
that's what it's all about. It's a genius idea. And we're right here on the water, Baruch Hashem. Now, this Bar Re'ima, it could have been a fish. According to Tosfos' opinion, that it was a fish. There's also an opinion that this Orzila was not a fish, but a gigantic re'im, a gigantic a gazelle or antelope. I feel like it would make more sense that it was a fish, because a fish that's humongous, size of a mountain, a couple miles long. You know, we have some gigantic fish, like aquatic species, and also we're talking a lot about like the water. This is Perikamocher Aspina in the end. So if there was curvature in the water, which we know is impossible anyways, if there was curvature, the sun would have hit the water and then not continued. Only on a flat plane is there like a shadow like that. Oh, the girls are back. Shalom. So we're thinking that this Arzila might have been a fish, not an antelope. There's an opinion in Tosfos that it might have been a fish. However, Tosfos comes, look at this beautiful building. Tosfos comes and says it can't have been a fish, because the Gemara in Zvachim talks about the existence of this animal, and like they talk about like whether or not Noach brought it onto the teva, and like you had to answer that. Like according to Rish Lakish, you had to answer that Noach brought this mythological creature, or at least kids, puppies of it, onto the ship. That's the only way to understand how it still exists for Rabbah Bar Bar Chana to see it. Rabbi Yochanan, it's not a question for him, because Rabbi Yochanan held that there was no Mabul in Eretz Yisrael, so you could have this mythological creature that's still in Israel. But according to Rish Lakish, that the Mabul was in Israel, Lechora, in Zvachim, Daf Kuf Yud Gimel Beis. So in that case, how did it come to survive? Oh, it must be that Noach brought it. Zak Rabbi Yana, it must be Noach brought it onto the Teva. But if it was a fish, then there would never have been a question in the first place, because of the Gemara in Kedushin and Daf Yud Gimel Amid Aleph, that there was no gezerah of the Mabul on the Dagim. So from the fact that the Gemara had that question and had to answer that Noach brought two babies of this creature onto the Teva in order to explain how Rabbah Bar Bar Chana actually saw this. So the Gemara seems to be really understanding this literally as well. They're like, no, Imam saw it, unless the entire question is in the realm of Agadita, which is always possible. Okay, so even though it may make sense, there is an opinion that there's a fish, and there is someone who has the version of the story that is talking about the sea, maybe the sea antelope. You know, we have sea horses. It's mythological, right? So maybe we're thinking sea antelope. No, it can't be a sea antelope. It must be a plant creature, according to Tosfos, based on that Gemara in Zvachim, which we're going to see tomorrow. Now, we're going to see. We have 8 minutes left to share. I feel he's going to start in the game, huh? Or Zila Bar Yome, because as we are standing right now, it's a wild story, but I don't know what it's talking about. What does the poop represent? What is this Arzila? Why do they call it an Arzila? And so actually, Harry, we saw before you came that Unkelus, when he's talking about Ofer Ha'ayalim, he says Arzila the Ayla. So it might be in the ram category. It might be a type of ram. And now Schleggs is going to say, oh, everyone knows a ram and antelope are the same animal. But actually, I didn't know that. But it seems to be in the ram family. Hashtag Ramily. Okay, Arzila Bar Yome, a one-day-old ram or gazelle, Moshe Gazav Razal, like Chazal say, Chamra Azil, Limi Bai. So a donkey, he goes where he wants. Karne Odne, Dahavale Kizize Mine. It's talking about his karnaim, about his
Found it.
his karnaim, his horns. Odine. What's Odine? Does anyone know Odine?
Bleiben.
Good blind. What if I told you that in Aramaic the Dalet and the Zayin are interchangeable?
That'd be new news for me.
Well, we've seen it before. But anyways, it might be Oznaim, Ozen. Any new
Scales?
news? Good blind. The ears, the horns of its ears, maybe. The Havale Gazize mean that he would like cut them. He just says like Chazal say, but what Chazal? Where did Chazal say that? The Inyano. So what's the Indian of the story? To Amru Ligmor Inish Behadar Lisbor. I think this is a Mishnah. The Mishnah says first, if a person can. Oh no, I don't have a pen. So my pencil is in Pennsylvania over here. Robinson, you got a pencil or a pen? Period.
I found the Rebbe Nachman, by the way.
Givaldic, send it to me. We're gonna learn it tomorrow or when we finish the graph. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Okay. So it says a person should first learn and then he should understand. Meaning, like if a person could start learning as early as possible, now at least he knows the psukim, and then he goes back to understand it. Now it happens to be that these stories of Rabbah Bar Bar Chana, we were thinking about why are they in such cryptic ways, and this was one of the things I thought about to explain why they're telling us in such a cryptic way, because if you're telling us such deep things about the world, it could be that the first time a person comes to it, he'd be like, "What? It's too crazy." But if you hide it in a story and he knows the story and it's a beautiful story, and then he understands, first you learn the words of the story, and then you understand like what it's talking about. That's kind of how we're learning it in here. And that's what I think the Mishnah says. It could be Gemara. That a person should shteig, ligmor inish, should shteig the words, v'ader lismor, and then he should get those like the understanding of it. T'ne'emar, because it says, Shasamayim mivorach, v'acher gach mivarach. If you right, because it says in a pasuk, and I think we need to see this pasuk. Yes, the last gra also was very difficult, and like I decided to go weiter because there's like a lot of stories, and we got the pshat. Hopefully, maybe when we're editing these, we can add pshatim into these very cryptic agaritas. But it says like this: Shtaza mayim mivorach. So you drink water, you make a bracha. V'agar mivar mibe'ercha. Oh. No, it's not mevorach blessed. It's shazamayim miborcha. First, you drink water from your own hole, and then from your well. What could that mean? I mean, possibly what it could mean is that if you have a well that you're drawing water from the ground, that's a finite amount. But if you have a hole that you're catching rainwater, first you want to drink your rainwater, and because it's harder to preserve that maybe than drawing your well water. Okay, but still, right? So first you drink from your hole and then from your well. Steigin ha. Where does Chazal even say this? Where is this pasuk? We gotta look into it. And that's why it says in pasuk. Oh my God, the guy is so unbelievable. He's saying it seems
2 minutes, Shmuel.
3 minutes. 2. Okay, fine. So he's saying that this is shot in the bottom of this Bechor Shoro Haderlo, talking about Yosef Atzadik. The firstborn ox is good for him. The Karne Re'aim Karnav. Oh, I knew the word Re'aim from somewhere. Yeah. I mean, a bunch of places, also the puzzle, right? But Karne Re'aim Karnav. He had the antlers of an antelope, maybe. Or a Giselle. Because it says that most of the person's money that he has is from the strength of an ox. Like it says, the Olam Yasim Adam as Asmo Kishore. The Kichamur Lamasa. A person should put himself that like an ox for the yoke, and like a donkey for the carrying. And tomorrow we're gonna see what exactly is shot that a person should put himself as an oar. So it seems like the Gra is going with Tosfos, saying it's not talking about a fish, but it's actually talking about a antelope or something. And we see the Gra and we see the water, and now we see the science because my hands are pumping and thumping the threads of the guitar. And we saw the reflection, and we started cheer number 123, and we're really going far, and it's really tasting sweet from the Hela Guitarra in Sarasota. We don't know, but we are Moda to the Abishter day and night, and we always have to fight the Shibud Malchus, the evil Satan, and his worshippers. They are blatantly serving a servant. It's blatant that Satan is just, a servant of the age, and he has no koach of his own, and that's why he had to go litol rishos from Hashem to kill Eov or to mess up his life.